Hello everyone, it is now 6:30 p.m. EST and we are back on the live stream. Happy Monday to everyone with us on the live stream and people watching afterwards, even if it isn't Monday. Pow, 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 pow. Every time I forget about that, you remind me of the existence of it.
Because you started doing the... It sounds like a professional
Yeah. We just heard our...
podcaster or a radio host.
Yes, well, I don't know about professional, but it was at least
Semi-professional.
yeah, on the way to being that. Okay. So we are here. It's Monday again. We had a table at TCAF yesterday and the day before over the weekend. And hi, Jamie. Yes, we're both good. How have you been? TCAF was good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience. We spoke to a lot of
We
people who
also
stopped by the
enjoyed the
table.
fact that it was 20 minutes bus ride from here.
Yeah. So basically, home court in our backyard.
And 10 minutes with an Uber on the first day.
It was so
on the
easy.
last day.
No flight, no airport.
No hotels.
You don't have to bring clothing or a change of socks or anything. You just hop on the bus
Yeah.
in the morning and you're there.
And also, I think it's a different kind of shows than the previous one that we've been to. It's the thing I noticed is it's more about comics themselves and less about the other stuff like the merch and t-shirts and Funko Pops and toys.
Yeah.
There's none of that there.
No, it was just prints and zines and
mostly comics.
Comics.
But by individual creators, not by companies.
Right.
I think there was maybe 3, 4, 5 maybe publishers there, but very small ones. The biggest one is Drawn and Quarterly, I think.
Yeah.
But the other one are pretty small. So it's mostly very independent creators that sell their comics. And I think it's interesting because I think it was the worst show for us in terms of commissions. I didn't get any pre-show commissions to the show.
Right. And you only got a sketch card. 2 sketch cards. Was it 2 sketch cards?
Yeah,
two sketch cards.
Which is the smallest commission available. So in terms of commission, I think it was the worst show ever. But in terms of like the comic books themselves, the sales it was one of the best shows. We sold a lot of books.
Yeah, a lot of books and a lot of art books especially.
Yeah, a lot of art books.
The 2025 edition of your art book was completely sold out.
Yeah.
And most of the 2024 issues were also sold out.
And the Helix Sky Ashcan.
And also a couple of prints. People bought the G-Clay prints too, which is rare. That doesn't happen often because they're pretty expensive as far as prints go, because they're G-Clay prints and it's a limited run print. But they still, a few people picked up, I think the
so it's a smaller show, but most of the participants come to buy comics, and it seems like they read the comics. It's not like they're coming there for signatures, because the other thing that I noticed, nobody wanted the remake on the books.
People weren't
even once.
Nobody wanted.
Not even once.
It was more about like cheap indie comics.
Not cheap necessarily.
Cheap. I'm gonna explain what I mean. So, I think what I took away from the crowd there was that they enjoy getting the biggest variety of different creators' work that they can, but they won't. They have a budget, so they only pay the smallest amount at each because they want a big variety. Because I saw people buying things, they didn't even know you, And I saw people picking up an art book and just like they barely even looked through it. They were like, okay, art book, I'm getting this. And they had a stack of art books from other tables too.
I think people are actually reading the stuff that they buy there. I'm not saying that at other shows they don't read the comics, but it feels like I make most of my income from commissions and things that are around the comic books themselves and not the comic books themselves, which are the main issue of what I'm doing. So I guess it's better if people are interested in the comic books themselves. But
Yeah.
even though it's less expensive, so but it is less work for me because I don't need to work the entire show and draw during it, even though
You enjoy it too,
yeah, I
though.
enjoy it. So
Hi, Jillian. Happy Monday to you too.
and we got a lot of things, and
We did.
do you wanna maybe show this because
Okay,
you brought it and
we'll switch to the table cam. So this happened to catch my eye at one of the tables, and I would have gotten it regardless if the creator had volunteered to explain what it was about, because I like the way it looks and I like the colors too. But she said that there's this old printing machine called a Rizzo or a Rizo, RSIO, and you can see at the top there's the logo there. Yeah, top left there's the logo. And she said that it's an old version of a kind of printer that used to create a template. So it was up to 2 colors per print. And it used to make, I don't know what the material was, but it used to prepare a template for the first color and then do something that's similar to a silk print of the color, allow it to dry, and then create a second template and do that. And then you would dispose of the templates and you'd have a 2-tone or 2-color print. And that was, I mean, like I said, I would have gotten it either way because I just like the idea of a mecha built out of, or a transformer that turns from a printer to a mecha or a robot or something.
Yeah, but the print, the specific type of print gives it interesting texture.
Yes, risograph, exactly. That's what she said. So, yeah, there's like fun little typography dispersed throughout. I really enjoyed it.
And we also got this, but we got some other stuff. This is the Raid, another. It's a publisher. It's a Canadian publisher and gallery and workspace here in Toronto, and they do a free magazine called Blitz, and I have a story for their third issue, but I think this is just a anthology of stories from their creators, and they did have a forward here from Scotty Young. I like the coloring of this first story. It's more cartoony, I guess, the style. Like more, a little bit like animation, maybe. Cartoony animation. For me, it feels a little bit over-rendered here, but it's nice. This I did like this style here by Gabe Sapienza. I hope I'm saying it right.
Close enough, probably.
So it's black and white, but it does have color a little bit here.
Jillian says, well, there's a question, so I guess we'll address it right after we're done with the review here of the Raid collection.
Very nice face here.
They always have the best table, it shows.
Yeah, Raid they do interesting stuff.
They have a nice variety of different styles, but everything is on point. Nothing looks...
Yeah. It's very violent here. Yeah, you see they do also this kind of thing, but it also look high quality. It's very cartoony, but it looks
It all looks professional is what I'm
yeah,
trying to
it
say.
looks
It always
professional.
looks professional. Even if the names are less known or more known, it doesn't matter. It's just the coloring's on point, and if it's just black and white, the ink is really neat, tidy.
Yeah, I think it's all about the curating and choosing the right stories for the project, and I think Ramon is doing that here.
Yeah, he does a good
This is
job.
yeah, this is very cool. I like the style here.
For those of you who don't know, Raid is a gallery slash workspace slash publisher of a magazine out of Toronto, so local to here where we are. And we actually discovered them after having moved here, and we just really love the curation that they do when they put together their, I guess it's called a magazine, not what we're
Yeah.
looking through now, but
Yeah.
this is more of like a
It's a
collection of
magazine
short
and it's
stories.
free.
Not what we're looking through now. This is
No.
not free, but the magazine that they output is really, it's like a large format and very high quality print, and they just give it away for free. In the meantime, at least.
This is pretty cool. The line work here.
Yeah, it's very thin, long limbs, angular. The
That's
costume
cool.
design is also cool. She's a drag queen's drag queen.
Almost no backgrounds here.
Yeah, very clean work.
I would add some details
I don't
here.
know. I kind of like it like this.
Yeah.
It does look unfinished a little bit, but it really draws the eye towards what they want you to look at.
Yeah, but for example here, I would assume that if you add some details here, it will make the character pop even more because they don't have a lot of details inside the exterior lines of the characters.
Yeah, and then the pop of the red splashes is also pretty good.
Very nice. This one I liked, I think, a little bit less.
Right, yeah.
But it also it looks pro.
Oh yeah. It's just a matter of style, right? Some people like only wearing skinny jeans, some people like only wearing baggies, and some people like both. This seems
nice.
interesting.
The design of the ship here is interesting. Also another. This also looks like a cartoon, like
yeah,
animation cartoon.
Yeah.
But it is very well done.
What's that? What's the black
figure.
circle on the hat? Is that like a gun shot hole?
I don't know. This is very nice. The action here. I like the fact that it has a lot of colors in it.
Yeah, but also
Most of the comics that are done now are very muted.
Yes.
The colors are muted. And this is Ramon, so his stuff is always
amazing.
Yeah, very
really looks good. So
very
cinematic.
Yeah. And also I really like his layout design. Do you think he forgot to black this? Because there's an X inside.
I think so. Is it a typed X or a hand drawn?
Looks like an X, hand drawn.
Okay, then I think he forgot to fill it in. But that's okay. That happens. It still looks amazing, even with the X there.
So he knows
And it could be
where
intentional too.
he knows where to put more details and where not to. For here, for example, a lot of details, but here it's just like sky in the
No,
background.
it's a masterpiece with the halftones and the fading and the panel design.
And I really like the faces that he does.
Yeah,
The way he
if you
draws
bring it
faces.
closer to the camera, they'll be able to see that there's a lot of
I can
digital
bring the
halftone.
camera closer to
Oh
it.
yeah. So you can see it's all most of the shading is either full blacked out areas or heavy lines, and then you have this halftone pattern that gets faded out at certain points.
Yeah.
It really looks good in person, better than on camera. And it looks good on camera too.
You can achieve it traditionally if you use zipatones, but
Right.
I think he works digitally for this.
It just looks so tight.
There's a lot of artists that work with zipatones, and they know how to handle it, because there's a way to do to bring the white back after you put the zipatone on. You use a
An
X-Acto
eraser?
knife
Oh, you
to
scrape off some.
scrape.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. It's hard to impress me as far as like
Look at the hand here.
paneling and inking.
Very cool.
I don't get impressed often, but I'm very impressed with this work of his. And it's not like yeah, I'm not just glazing him for the sake of it. I really do like it.
Yeah, it's very. Look at this, like the action here. It's very. This is so cool.
Oh yeah. The big creature on the right too.
Draws faces. And the last one is also nice.
That's giving me like Dune, the top of it with Baron Harkonnen in a tub.
Yeah.
And some sort of like engineered humanoid attending to them.
Kalman Andrasovsky.
Oh, so he exits the pool younger or something, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
And much more ripped and cut. Holding on to his pants and showing the difference in size.
Yeah. Whoa, look at this.
Yeah, that's cool. It's kind of scary.
We also have another book by them. You actually bought the other one by
Twice.
mistake, and I replaced it with this one.
I just really like the cover, so, and I wasn't sure if we had it, so I got it again.
The other one, I think the covers are Ramon, probably.
Yeah, I really like the covers. It catches your eye from far away too. So I was looking at the covers before I even realized it was Raid's table.
Who drew the cover here? Reminds me of Tank Girl.
Yeah, it does a little bit. So we do have a question. Jillian says, can you tell a little bit about the process of making the art book? What was it like printing it, curating your work, and do you have any advice for someone that would like to do the same?
Okay, so the first one that we've done, I've done it with my art rep. She was responsible for the curating and like choosing the works and completing doing the complete book. But we knew that we will probably have 24 pages because we knew we wanted something that looks like a comic book, like in terms of length and size. So she kind of did the curation, but of course, I also was part of the process, and we kind of chose together what we prefer to be in the book itself. And then she handled all the printing and all the logistics of it. I think we've done it before OEX, probably before the show, because we knew that a lot of people are coming um, for the original artwork, because it's a show about it's not about comic books, it's more about the art. So the goal was to have something to sell besides the commissions and originals. And the printing, like the production, I don't know, I think she handled it, so it was printed somewhere in the US. I don't remember the place exactly. But it's basically like printing a comic book, except it was in black and white, because all the artwork that we chose it was only commissions, and I've done some colored commissions, but most of my commissions are black and white. So we decided for this specific art book to be only black and white. We also heard at this show some people say that they prefer seeing my work in black and white. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they said that, if I recall correctly, that they like the colors that you use and the coloring is good, but there's just something more enticing about the black and
Yeah,
white
I
because
also
it
prefer my work in black
in
and
black and
white,
white because
actually.
it leaves your brain space to fill in the blanks, I think. And also just looks more classical as so to say that it doesn't tie it down to a specific period. When you color something in, it more so ties it to a specific time.
Yeah.
But if it's just black and white, it's yeah, just more classic, I guess, timeless.
Yeah. So, but the second one that I've done, I've done it myself. So the 2025
Hmm.
commissions,
Right.
I've done it myself, and I just chose whatever I thought is gonna be is the best, like the best work, and is gonna be more interesting to see, like on a size of a comic book.
I want to add something
And
before I forget, and then you
yeah,
can. So think about this is not just about conventions and shows. This is in general, but especially for conventions and shows. People walking around the show are bombarded by visual communication constantly. Their brain can't even process everything that they're seeing because it's such a visual medium, right? So you need to choose not just your best work, as Nir said, you need to choose the work that has most visual impact and is eye-catching as much as possible.
yeah,
So also your best work in terms of technically best, your latest work, and the most visually appealing work.
I think that's even more true about if you speak about the cover, because the cover
Mm-hmm.
needs to be the most inviting thing that you have in the entire book,
And it
because
doesn't mean that it has to
that's
be
what people are
complex.
going to see first.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that the cover has to be super detailed or anything. It just means that the composition, the color needs to catch the eye.
Yeah, covers are like I can talk about covers for hours, because sometimes it's better to do less details on covers. This is what I believe in, at least.
Hmm.
So usually my covers, if you see like BioRipple, for example, it's a very simple cover. It doesn't have,
Um, I don't know. Would you call it simple?
yeah, it's just a face, basically. Just a face.
Yeah.
It's a simple cover. It doesn't have a lot of detail. And I know because when I draw, it usually takes me a day to finish a page, and I think I did it in like maybe 2 hours. The cover,
Yeah.
but also like Razor Gray and Age of Canaan. All my books, not all of them, but a lot of my books have simpler covers, and I think, like you said, people are bombarded with information,
Mm-hmm.
and most cartoonists and artists, they think they need to add more in order to be more attractive
Yeah.
for people.
And it's not
It's not
necessarily the case.
necessarily even, it's even the opposite sometimes, because they see so much details and so much information, not just at shows, even like on the shelf in the bookstore. They see so much stuff. Sometimes the simpler covers are even more, they even pop more than the complex ones, just because they are simple. I think also this cover, the cover that you showed earlier of Raid,
Mm-hmm.
it's also simple,
Yeah, it
kind of
is. It
simple
is quite
cover.
simple. It's true. I'm just looking for a little bit of a larger res. Here we go. Maybe this one. Just to show. Yeah, that's not. The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, if you have face on a cover,
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly, I think it's the best
Yes.
attraction, the best like for the best way to attract the eyes of the audience is putting a face on the cover.
Yeah,
But that's an easy solution,
and it
right?
needs it should preferably be a face in which the eyes are visible and the eyes are looking somewhere at least almost in the angle of the viewer, which is the person looking at the cover, or almost in the angle of the viewer. So like, or directly at the angle of the viewer, because studies show that our brains are hardwired to fix our eyes and catch and stay on eyes specifically and
Yeah,
faces, bodies too, but specifically eyes and faces, because I guess like evolutionary, this is the theory at least, they think that evolutionarily people that focused more on faces and eyes just survived more because they were able to
understand.
discern what people
Yeah,
were feeling around them, if people were looking at them, in which way they were looking at them, and so they could decide
if
whether it was
there's
time to,
danger
yeah, whether it was
or.
like fight or flight time, or just be aware of the human beings around them more.
But obviously, I think you can subvert everything that we say right now and be successful in
Oh, for
covers.
sure. This is just like a general rule of thumb, and then that you can break that and also be successful. It could just be one blank color and it'll
Yeah,
catch the eye too. It really depends on the context and
yeah. I I think that the cover should tell the same principle that you're trying to sell with it. That's also something that is important. So we started with talking about the art books.
Mhm.
So you can't put something that is not typical of your style, something that you did, but it's not. It doesn't look like the rest of your art that is inside the book itself.
For
Then
sure.
it's gonna be weird
It
for
needs to
people.
be in your brand, in your
Yeah,
wheelhouse. What makes you special and stand out too. So all of those things, it's not simple to decide which work to put forward, but it's
yeah,
very important. And another thing I would advise on is ask as many people as possible for their opinion on what to include. Let's say you're putting together a portfolio or an art book. You ask the people that you know and friends and just people that you work with, whoever you can get an opinion about which work to include. You say these are 10 pieces,
Not
which
everybody
three?
though.
No, not everybody, but
People that have a
yeah,
say, like
yeah.
understand
The,
the field that you're in,
it
not
could
just
also just be people that have good taste in like clothing, and
but
it doesn't have to
not
be.
your friends,
If
because
your
your
friends,
friends
no, if your friends have good taste and
and
you know,
they don't lie to you.
and they don't lie to you, then go for that. And no, it's not even about lying because you say this
No,
is how I.
it's about being like nice to your
No,
friends.
but this
So
is how I did it.
not telling
I
them
didn't
the
say you don't say do you like these pieces because they're going to say yes to that. You say if you had to select 3 out of these 10 pieces, which 3 would you select? And then at the end of
yeah
the collection of all that information from whomever you decide to bring in on the process, you collate all the data and you give out points for the ones that were selected the most, and it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to go by that, but it could skew your opinion. It could make you go, you know what, they're right, this piece that I wasn't sure about, I'm going to put this in because it's, for whatever reason, simple, communicates clearly, the color pops. It could just make you view your pieces in a bit of a different way.
yeah. And the reason I've done the art books is because it shows um I usually sell my comics, but sometimes they sell out and I need something on the table. So that's the reason for me. But everybody has his own reasons for maybe doing that or not. But for me, it was only because I prefer having more comic books than art books.
Hmm.
But sometimes you just need something on the table for to sell for people to buy. Because, for example, my first book, Bioripple, is completely sold out, so I don't have any copies here that I can bring to shows.
Is Bioripple your first book?
No, it's not my first book. It's
It,
my first book in North America, so I refer to it
right,
sometimes
yeah,
as my
I
first.
get that.
And I think I don't sell the my other older comics because I feel like they're not representative of my style now. So I don't
It
know.
is the truth that you're always precious about your most previous work.
Yeah,
And then when you generate newer work, you slowly the preciousness that you feel towards that thing that was the newest
yeah,
slowly fades out of existence,
yeah,
and
that's
then it
true.
transfers onto your latest piece of work, which is it's natural, it's normal, and it also makes sense. I think that should happen, and it does happen often.
Yeah, but there's it's true. I
Hmm.
agree with that, and it happens to me all the time.
Right.
But uh, if I look at my books before BioRipple, I have this feeling of cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks wonky and weird.
Right.
But if I look at BioRipple, it still looks great. So I feel okay with I feel great actually with selling it
Oh yeah,
at shows.
BioRipple. The thing is, like,
I don't know what happened
no, I know
there
what happened.
specifically,
You
but
transformed into your final form before you published BioRipple. So you were
no,
already
but if
like,
you look at the art there, it's completely different than
oh
this.
yeah, but the quality is still at the same level.
Yeah, I guess the
Yeah,
quality not I wouldn't say the same level, but
almost the same level. Yeah.
it feels like the quality is good enough for me from my eyes now.
Yeah, which is, yeah, your taste level.
It's probably high levels because I'm very selective about what I like. So.
Yeah, same. It's both a problem and also a gift. If you have developed taste or very specific artistic tastes, then you're gonna find it harder to find things that you like or enjoy. But at the same time, you become a very precise critic of work,
Yeah.
I would say, or at least you potentially become that type of. keen eye, keen observer.
And for me, it's especially harder in comics because this is what I do,
Right.
and it's easier for me to uh, figure out and differentiate between like what I think is good and what I think is not good because I do it myself
Yeah.
and I know exactly what's behind the scenes of the creation
It's
process.
sort of like
So,
when I used to do a lot of visual effects and animation work on live action. And then every time I went to the theater and I saw CGI over live action, I wouldn't enjoy it as much in the moment because I wasn't suspending my disbelief and allowing myself to be
oh
absorbed
yeah,
into
I
the
can't.
story. I was more just thinking about the technical aspects of how they masked the shot, how they composited it, how much time it must have taken, what was the deadline like. Like yeah, like you said, it becomes more of it takes you out of the fantasy,
Yeah,
knowing how
I can't read comics without thinking about how it was
knowing
done,
how the
what's
yeah
the
how the bread is
process, and
baked, or I don't know what the phrase is, right? Knowing how, what is it, there's a phrase that people use.
how the cookie crumbles.
No,
No.
not that. um so phrase, let's see if the chat chimes in.
There's the saying about the sausage, right?
Oh, I think
How
it
the
is about a
sausage.
sauce. I
No,
think it
but
is.
this meant to be about you 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 see all the ugly and disturbing information behind the thing that looks clean from outside. It means something else, basically.
It does mean what you said, but it also says here that it just means understanding the complicated or unpleasant behind the
Yeah,
scenes details
unpleasant.
of a
Yeah.
process that ultimately result in a polished, desirable product.
Yeah,
So,
but it's mostly about unpleasant details that are in
yeah,
the background.
yeah. You have to. So, if it becomes annoying enough for you, at some point you just sort of you give yourself an auto suggestion of, I've never worked in visual effects. I don't know anything about animation. I'm just gonna block out every thought and just pay attention
That,
to the movie.
yeah, it's impossible.
It happen. I
Sometimes.
do manage to do it sometimes, but it doesn't happen. I don't have complete control over it. So I guess the better the visual effects are, the more likely I am to suspend my thinking brain and just fall into
Of
it.
course, that's for everybody,
Yeah.
I think, even if you're not in the field
And
itself.
then whenever I see something really wonky, like in a B movie or an older film, it's just funny. You just start laughing because you know what they had to go through back then to make that crappy visual effect. It was just days upon days of waiting for renders back in the day. We didn't have the GPU processing power that we have today or the cloud rendering facilities and options.
Yeah, but sometimes they do have the budget and the resources, and still they are having decisions problem and not like a artistic problem.
Yes, they sometimes scrap things at the last minute and then you don't have enough time left over to actually put
Yeah.
in the effort anymore.
Yeah, but also the decisions of what to show on the screen, what's happening.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe it's more about the scripts, but it's still about the visuals eventually.
hmm So yeah, I would say we sort of answered the question and then moved on in some sort of tangent, but I would say select the work that most reflects you, is most visually appealing, grabs the eye, and also ask other people for their opinion, people that you value their artistic eye. Um, and
About the printing, like um, I guess the technical part of producing the thing, it's pretty easy now,
mm,
and it's much cheaper than it used to be because of digital printing. You don't need like large, insane amounts, quantities to print, you can print digitally, you can print like very small amount and it's gonna come out at a very high quality these days. It's pretty easy. And every printer can do that. Some of them do like um, like advertise that they do specialize in comics. I think it's called Print Ninja, or there's a huge company that prints. They actually print in China.
Yeah.
But it's easy to work with them because they have like a automatic system and you can do everything online. You don't need even to speak with the person, which is very fast. You can design everything on their website. Not design, I mean like
Finalize,
decide
yeah, make all the decisions, send in all
decisions
of
of the
the,
paper and stuff like that.
yeah, parameters of the project.
Yeah, it's probably more expensive than other printers, but every printer can do a comic book and like a short colored or black and white book. It's not something that you need to be stressed about. It's pretty easy now.
Jillian, I hope we answered your question. If you have any other details that you'd like to hear about regarding it, just feel free to type those in too. Something that we haven't covered, perhaps.
Yeah. So I'm working now on a page, another page from Helix Sky.
There is one more thing I wanted to say and I forgot and I just remembered is editing is also important. So it's not actually that good to have a huge body of work. You should not be showing 100 pieces because it's daunting to people to have to go through everything, and sometimes they don't have time. So as far as like booklets are concerned, you want them to be concise and select the least amount of impactful works. I'm not saying like 3, it should be within a range. But for instance, in show reels for animation and visual effects artists, the general rule of thumb is not to go over a minute, even though you might have work that you've amassed over the past 10 years, you would still keep to the rule of basically not going over a minute because then it just becomes too much. It's tiring.
Yeah. Obviously, there are art books with a lot of art and more pages, but they cost more to produce and they're gonna cost more for people to buy. So if you're just starting out, it's better if you do something smaller. That's true for comics as well.
Yes.
Like I made the mistake that everybody does,
Which is,
which is starting with a 250 page graphic novel as my first published work.
right.
But it's better to do something um, short and fast because you can move on faster and like I think it's called fail quicker or fail quickly.
Yeah.
You can fail quickly because your first work is gonna be probably in the future you're gonna look at it and see all the mistakes. So if you work on smaller project and faster one, you're gonna progress easier and in a better way.
Oh, I didn't do this yet today.
What? Are you you're now holding it in front of the camera and
Yeah.
you should do it near the microphone. The microphone is gonna explode from the sound.
It makes quite the sound, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People also tend to show us their sketchbooks a lot when we table at shows. So that happened at least twice or three times over the past few days.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, they don't, it's not
Yeah, it makes
unsolicited. They
sense.
just
It's
say,
okay.
I have my sketchbook here, and I just say right away, show it to us. I want to see it because it really is interesting speaking with these people and looking at all of their different styles. And sometimes it's like, oh, this is really good. This is also a good page. And then there's a lot of fluff in the middle that has like pieces that they have spent less time on, or they didn't really focus enough energy and effort on. And I would just, it would be so much more impactful if it were less work in there, but only the good things,
Yeah.
right? What do you
I
think is the
think
biggest thing currently missing from online art education?
the people that show us their work, it doesn't look like they are aware of what's good and what's bad
No,
in their specific work
but
that they
that's
show.
always true. Like you can't smell yourself.
Um, yeah, but you have some sort of a hunch for the thing that you've done.
It takes time
You're
to,
supposed to have
it
some
takes time
sort
to
of a hunch.
develop that though. When you're just starting out, you don't really have enough experience to have developed that yet. And later on, yes, you can even curate yourself. Yeah, it's true, but it takes time. Jillian says, what do you think is the biggest thing currently missing from online art education? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to as online art education. Do you mean like courses or workshops that people take online, or what exactly are you referring to, Jillian?
Yeah, I don't know what's online art education as well. Maybe like the YouTube channels that teach art. Maybe that's the meaning of that question.
Maybe, yeah, tutorials or
I don't really watch a lot of tutorials, but I do sometimes put on David Finch's channel,
yeah.
and he has a lot of. So he does lives, and but sometimes during the live itself, he stops with the questions and like stops his drawing and just answer the question on a drawing board and just explain. Sometimes it's anatomy, sometimes it's perspective. Every time it's something else. But he knows very good how to explain. He's very communicative.
Hmm. What was his name again, in case the audience?
David Finch.
David Finch. So David Finch, he has glasses, I think.
David Finch is one of the most famous
I think I know who.
comic
Yeah, I think I
artists.
know who. He does a lot of live streaming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, Jillian says David Finch show is live the same time as yours, Monday Night Draw.
yeah.
I didn't know that we shared the same schedule there. But
I think he used to do it at a different time,
mm,
but yeah, I think he changed the hour.
yeah, he's such a professional. He's so fast too, right?
Yeah, he's very fast. He has a very distinct style that you see right away when you see his art.
Hmm.
And he's very nice. I got to meet him a couple of times because we share like the same friends. My art rep knows him quite well, and I got to go to a weird dinner with him at a point. But
It wasn't weird because of him, just to be
no, no,
clear.
no.
It's just sometimes it's awkward when you meet people that other people that know, but you're not friends yet, or
Yeah,
you don't know them. So
yeah.
it's like you don't really,
It's not.
no one knows what to
It
say.
wasn't that. I
Yeah,
didn't have a chance to speak with him even
yeah,
once, but
right.
it was just the location that they chose for the event was weird. But yeah, it's just a
Was it at a
stupid.
brothel?
No, it's a not very good restaurant.
Just a random restaurant. Okay. Yeah, that happens.
But I know of Proco. I don't think I've seen recent stuff that he does,
Right.
but he has like a cool and interesting anatomy course. I've never seen the complete course, but I only saw what's free on YouTube.
Mm. But it seems like
I think
it's
I think I know what the if that was the question about the YouTube
yes, it
channels.
was. It was.
So
Online
I think I
workshops.
have an answer maybe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the um, channels uh, that teach art, they jump to solutions
Mm.
very fast.
Mm-hmm.
They hardly speak about stuff like style and ideas and themes
Mm.
and story,
Right.
because even in illustration has story. it's not it's not just
Of
art
course.
needs to tell a story. If it's abstract art or just art in general, you don't have to tell a story. But
But it's
for
good to know how to tell a story, even for that. It'll never hurt you
yeah,
to know how to tell a story, I don't think. In what way could it harm you? It's just,
no, it will never hurt you, but
no.
maybe you don't need it for some of the art genres.
If you're doing Jackson Pollock splatters, I don't think it's
Yeah,
as important to know how
yeah.
to expound the narrative, but definitely any kind of sequential art, even just like a one frame uh, image with characters in it,
Yeah,
knowing how,
a
yeah,
cover
a
also tells a
cover tells a
story.
story.
So
So it's always good. And then
every
what you're saying is
illustration
true.
tells a
I
story.
don't, I hear them talk a lot about
Technical stuff.
technical
So
things, so which is important too. It's very important.
yeah,
But then I guess the less, um, it's harder to show visually on YouTube or over a podcast talk about the less tangible aspects of
and
crafting.
it's also less
It's
desirable
less
for
appealing.
the algorithm.
Exactly. Yeah, it's less
So,
appealing visually. It's less it's harder to also talk about crafting stories and narrative, and it's much more
but
involved.
there are channels that speak about writing, but
Yes.
they're not the same channels that speak about art.
No, I
It's
understand why they don't really delve into the subjects that you were talking about, because it's so much harder to guide people in that way in a short format.
yeah, that's
There's
true.
no two or three sentences I can say that'll
Yeah,
make
yeah.
you become a better writer. It's not, otherwise you would need the video,
I'm
right?
not just speaking about writing, I'm also
Yeah.
speaking about like what you do
Mm.
in order to choose your ideas behind the subject that you're drawing, or even developing your own voice, being different than the other artist, how to be unique, um,
Yeah.
how to choose how to edit yourself, how to choose the right ideas, stuff like that. I think people jump very quickly to the how,
Right.
and they skip a lot of the time they skip the why.
Yeah. 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 We seem to be at least in the Western culture that is prevalent today, I think everyone's focused on the what and the how, but there hasn't been, at least not that I can see, a
By the
lot of
way,
focus on the why.
I'm only speaking about illustration because in like art, classical art, I think they do that
They do.
even more than they need to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're
So I think
obviously
that in
they're
Western art, they put too much emphasis
emphasis
on
on
the
the why. So you're saying like
idea,
you're saying contemporary, sometimes the contemporary art is more focused on
on
like
the idea.
having an idea, but the execution is very poor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then sometimes the idea isn't even that intriguing, and then you're left with just a poor execution
Yeah,
because they're used to it being about the idea, but then that's all that's left.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that in universities and like official colleges that you can learn illustration and art
Hmm.
in, they do that.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure they
and then
do
again,
that.
it's not a short form, right? It's like a involved long process.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can do that in a process.
yeah.
If
And
you
I
go to
think
school,
I
for
think you
sure.
need to go to school.
Yeah.
I think it's an important part, should be an important part of your career. I think it's not a good decision to skip that.
Yes. Or we're talking about higher education here.
Yeah,
So
higher.
college,
Yeah.
university, workshops, classes. You also don't have to enroll in an entire course, or you could just try it out, right? Because most universities have classes that you can take even if you're not getting a degree.
I think you should get a degree. I
I'm
think
not
it's
saying don't get a degree, but if you're not sure if you like something yet and you don't want to commit to the whole thing,
yeah.
you could just take a sampling of a few courses, and if it still interests you and you'd like to delve deeper into it, for sure, like do the degree, go into it, get a feel for the subject. Because I know a lot of people who have spent years on a degree and they just halfway, midway, or near the end of the process, they discover that they just don't like the subject, or they end up doing something completely
Yeah,
different
so
afterwards.
that's, of course, you need to be
Yeah.
you need to think about it before you do it. But I think it's important in many different aspects, not just the learning experience. I think it's an experience that you need to go through,
Hmm.
that it's important. I guess that maybe some people, maybe it's not for them, but for me, it seems like it should be important. I hope we answered the question.
Yeah. I know very successful people who never got a degree,
Yeah, me too.
so that's also a
I'm not
possibility.
saying you can't be successful.
No,
I'm
obviously.
saying it's a good experience. It's part of your life, and it's gonna be a part of your life forever. Yes. So I think it's important. I'm not saying you can't be successful without it. It's not just about success. Not everything is about being successful or not.
It isn't.
I'm just saying about the experience itself of the learning process.
I know a lot of people who went to school for art, and I noticed that they're given exercises, but they're always given very specific exercises, at least during the first few years. So there was, for instance, an exercise of taking an image and then drawing it on a much larger scale using a grid to break it up into parts,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very specific thing. And then there was another one in which they had to recreate something in a different medium. So that's also a very specific type. But I don't remember them receiving any kind of prompts or exercises that required a lot of creativity or were very open-ended questions?
There,
I think,
I studied architecture,
yeah,
and in architecture you have a studio, which is most of the hours that you're. It's like the most important thing in school,
yeah.
in architecture school, and it's all about creating your own
Okay,
projects.
that's amazing. That sounds good.
It's very stressful for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
For most people, it's very
Because it's too
stressful.
open-ended.
It's open ended, and there's critique. So
Oh yeah, you have to present your work
you have to present
and
your
be able
work and be able
to.
to receive criticism. That
Mm,
is sometimes it's depends on the person that does the criticism. It could be very harsh,
yeah, you
especially
don't
if
want
you're.
Gordon Ramsay in there, right?
Some of them are Gordon Ramsay. We had a professor that threw away one of the models.
Oh
Somebody threw
no.
it on the floor,
No, that's
and
not
and he
nice.
said that's sloppy, and
And
threw
threw it
it on the
away.
floor.
I don't like that. That's I don't unless the person that made it was really being
No, he wasn't.
disrespectful and just like slapping things together
No,
just to.
he was the only thing that wasn't. He didn't finish it.
Okay,
So it wasn't. Some of the parts weren't like stuck together.
right, like glued.
So he glued together, right? So he got angry with that
No, I
and
don't.
just said that's sloppy and threw it on the
I
floor,
don't know.
and it broke
I think the
altogether.
most important thing you need, or one of the most important things you need for being
To
successful as a teacher is patience. And it sounds like that person lost their patience quite often, or at
yeah, yeah,
least a few times.
yeah.
I don't
He
like
also
that.
wanted to do a show, like to be this person that is a bit crazy and everybody
Oh,
speaks about.
right.
Yeah, he
So
was
it's like performance art.
a little bit. Yeah,
It's trying to make you scared of him.
yeah.
Made a spectacle out of that person. Well, I hope it didn't affect them too much. I mean,
Some people are very offended.
yes, it's true.
Yeah, and some people are can't handle
It
it and
could be
just
traumatizing for someone to go through that, and someone else could be like, this professor's crazy. What the hell are they talking
yeah.
about?
I was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember I got angry with him,
Oh, yeah.
with a professor.
What did he do to make you angry?
He threw away the model
Oh,
of the
of
person.
the other person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's too much.
yeah, it's too much.
It's not like you're preparing soldiers for war.
Yeah,
Like this bulletproof vest is on sloppy. Take it off and do it again. Throw it on the ground. I mean, that makes sense because you're teaching people to save their own lives,
yeah,
right? But to throw a architecture model on the floor, like that's
yeah. But and
kind of nuts.
I saw right through him, so I understood that he did it on purpose to be like crazy.
Yeah,
I just got angry, and
yeah. Like you're willing to hurt someone's feelings this deeply and embarrass them in front of all of their peers just in order to make yourself look a certain way,
yeah.
or it's
So architecture school is quite
brutal.
harsh. Yeah, a lot. So I think it's only for maybe 30 or 40% of the first year students get it through
Year,
the entire um, studies,
degree.
like
Okay.
degree.
So I think it was similar at least at some point with computer sciences. I don't know if it's still the same, but I remember a friend saying that after the first year was over, only about a third of the students that started the program were still on their way to getting their degree for the second year.
Yeah, they were in architecture. They were doing like between second and third year. You had to have I think 85 percent score in
Oh,
order to get it to the third year.
no, that's very high though,
Yeah,
85%.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. With computer sciences, I think some people just found it too hard. Others discovered that it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. and some people just realized that it wasn't for them.
Yeah,
So,
obviously people drop out on their own, but
yeah.
a lot of them are getting
Disqualified,
yeah,
sent to the house, as
to the
they
house.
say. Yeah,
Is that what they say?
I think they say that.
What are, what does it mean? Which
Like
house?
sent home, their
Oh,
own
okay.
home. Hmm.
I'm doing another double page of Helix Sky
Hmm.
with the continuous. I think I've done a couple of these before on the stream here. It's one continuous chase sequence that is spread inside the story.
Hmm.
So each chapter has a part of the sequence. And this specific one is chapter 3. Sometimes I think I need to replace this nib. I get, you get paper stuck between the tips of the.
Yeah, what do you actually do to remove it?
So I just put it in water and wipe it off like this. But
Yeah.
an inker told me once, it was Joe Weems,
Uh-huh.
that he uses like X-Acto knife or
Oh,
some sort of a knife
but
and
wasn't he
just
the one who said that he throws out the nib at the end of
every page.
every
Yeah.
page? So why would he care? He just throws it away anyway, right?
No, just working on the page itself while working. I'm gonna replace it just now. It's impossible.
Hi Sevens, nice to see you back.
It's so I don't know. Sometimes it just breaks. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it just deteriorates after a while that you use it.
I
And
think you disconnected something because it says that the close-up cam is offline. When you moved things around, maybe? Or
but we are not using it,
no,
so
I
it's
used
fine.
it before.
Okay. Solve all my nibs. Or all my nibs.
Where are your nibs at?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna see how I do it live, which is very, very interesting. You just take one wheel out and just put it in, and that's it.
what? That's not that interesting.
No, it's not.
Okay.
If you search online, you will find that people say that you need to put it in boiling water
No.
before you can,
What's the reason for it?
because it has oil.
Yeah, but
It
you can
has like a very thin layer of oil on
but
it
you
from
can wipe that
just
off
from the
though.
production. No, it's impossible to wipe oil.
I don't know because I also have been building kits out of resin parts lately, and they always say you should wash it in like dish soap and water for at least let it soak for the night until you before you start handling it or before you paint it. And it's not true because you're cutting off the flash, the ends of, the printing debris off, and you're sanding all the pieces and you're handling all the pieces before you start painting. So by the time you're done with the whole process and you're ready to paint, there's no oil left on there. It's long gone. It's so strange. Also, the same with the nib. It's like you take it out, you wipe it off. There's nothing left on it. You don't have to.
No, it's still here.
Oh, is it more persistent?
No, it's just oil. You can't wash it off with water. It doesn't wash off.
You can
But
wash it with soap. That's what soap
yeah,
does.
you can wash it. So they say boil it or wash it with soap.
Yeah,
Or even
but
somebody, I heard somebody said that he uses spit because spit does have some
Enzymes and stuff.
enzymes
But
that.
has it ever affected your
No,
drawing
no, I'm
not
not
clean?
doing that because it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm,
Yeah, but when you don't know,
yeah.
so at
It's
first,
it's good
I
to
think
know that the oil exists.
when I started, I didn't know that it if it affects the drawing process or not, because I didn't have experience. You
Right.
need to do it yourself in order to
Yeah.
understand if it affects the drawing.
Yeah.
So I did try it, but it didn't do anything.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it was after I talked to Joe. He said that he doesn't do anything, so I stopped doing that.
Mm-hmm. So you did it in the beginning, not
Yeah.
boiling it. Did you boil it?
No, I
No,
washed it.
you would wash it. I also used to wash resin parts. So the resin parts I'm referring to are, it's more for kit dressing. So sometimes, let's say you buy a Gundam kit, but it's not, you like the shape of the mecha, but it's not detailed enough. So you can either add details yourself by using scribing tape and designing panels that don't exist and then putting them in there, like adding them, gluing them, scribing it, which is great. But sometimes you can also order resin parts that sort of detail up your kit. And so they come in pieces, right? They
Yeah.
just come printed out of, or they make molds and they pour resin into it. So you have to prepare those as well. And yeah, there's mold release, which I think is a type of oil, or at least it behaves similarly to oil. And you have to clean that too. But I remember hearing how important it was to clean off the oil, and I don't I don't even think I've ever seen that much mold release on any parts. Not really.
Yeah. I'm sure there are other tools that it is important to wash them before these specific one that we're
You
speaking
remember
about are
when
not.
back in the day, maybe like 2 decades ago, whenever you would purchase an electronic or digital device,
You need to charge it.
you'd have to charge it, right, for the first time, and it would
Yeah.
need to be charged for, I don't know, 10 hours or 16 hours. There was like a minimum amount of time that you had to
Yeah,
charge
yeah,
it for the
yeah.
first time so that the battery um, was full to its capacity and then it would work properly afterwards. And nowadays, everyone just takes it for granted that you buy devices and they're fully charged and ready to go.
Yeah.
Because what happened was along the way, they discovered something about battery manufacturing that allowed the battery to retain its life on the shelf before you picked it up.
Yeah, it was also about not security, the other word,
For
like
security.
mm, it's not security, it's like for it not to catch fire when
Oh,
it's, I think it was something like that.
oh, I didn't know that. That it was like a hazard.
Hazard, yeah,
Yeah.
hazard. That's the word I had missing.
Seven said, I love oil painting, haven't done it in several years.
Yeah, oil is too much for me. It's
I
like
mean, it has its pros and cons. Everyone knows that. The pros and the cons are basically the same thing
the
in oil
cons are
painting.
too much for me.
It
The
just
cons.
takes forever to dry, which allows for blending and all kinds of cool effects, but then you have to just wait a really long time before
Yeah.
you can
The
finalize
last
anything.
painting I've done with oils was in architecture school. I
Hmm.
think you saw that. It's with my mother and me as a baby, like
Oh,
in sepia tones.
oh yeah. That was oils.
Yeah, was oils. And
How long did it take to dry? Do you remember?
it was a course that we did one painting the entire course.
Right.
So it was like 6 months,
Oh,
one session a week,
right.
and it was probably an hour and a half
Each time.
session each time.
So it never had time to fully dry, basically. Because you were
I
manipulating.
think that now it's dry.
Oh, for sure. Now it's dry. But if you were doing it once a week
Yeah, I
for
think you
that,
can yeah, once a week you can reactivate it
yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and also about oils, do you remember the guy we used to go to a live
Figure drawing.
figure
Yeah.
drawing, and there's a guy, he's very talented. He's just he's an amateur, I guess. He's not professional,
Yeah.
but he's so talented at oils. So he used oils for figure drawing,
Yeah. For short
which is
sessions too.
short sessions and like medium timed sessions. Like I think it was, how much was it? The
The short
longer
sketches
pose.
were 5 minutes. He wouldn't do that in oil, or he'd just make marks. And then there was 20 minutes and 40 minutes, and I think the longest one was 2 sessions of 40 minutes back to back with a
Yeah,
small break. So it would be,
but it was like the next week would be the same model.
yeah,
So it was like 2 weeks for
yeah,
painting.
that's too long. I mean, and they would
For a
also
painting.
recreate the pose from the previous week so that you
Yeah,
could
so that
continue
you can
working on it.
continue. Yeah,
I think they did that just for because the person, one
because
of the,
he was the
he was the
organizer.
organizer
Yeah,
and he used oils,
oils.
but
But yeah, it's hard to do all the maintenance and the stuff that is around the drawing itself.
yeah, tell me about it because I've been using lacquer paint to airbrush my models recently, and it's just it's toxic. It's not good to smell the atomized particles of lacquer and thinners that are lacquer thinners. So you have to wear a 3M mask that has a special organic particulate filter on it. You have to make sure your eyes are covered. You can't be touching it directly with your skin as well. So you have to use gloves that are made of a material that can withstand that type of solvent. And it just becomes, and the cleanup is a hassle too because you can't be touching your utensils with your fingers,
Yeah,
and it
sometimes
just
after
turns into
doing
such.
it once, you try to find like simpler solutions.
So the simplest solution would be using inks or acrylics because they're not as toxic, nowhere near as toxic. It's still not the best to be breathing in atomized acrylics, but it wouldn't harm you nearly as quickly or as bad as solvent-based paints. But the cleanup is much easier. But there's a trade-off, and I don't like the trade-off. So I kept on using lacquers because the trade-off is with acrylics, there's something called tip dry, meaning that the paint tends to build up on the tip of the airbrush needle, and then it just clogs. You can't continue working until you clean it.
Yeah.
And that just sort of really takes you out of your rhythm. So imagine inking, and every 15 minutes, you'd have to stop and clean your nibs for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So basically, half of the time is spent just maintenance, just cleaning your device. It's too much. It's like
Yeah.
half of the time is too much. It's not. It doesn't. Yeah,
Well,
but acrylics are forgiving in that. I mean, you can always.
it's easier to clean.
They dry really quickly. They're
You can clean it with
they're not
water.
easier to clean. No, they're not easier to clean. Not
Acrylics?
not on airbrushes. Because what
Oh,
happens
I meant
is
in painting,
in
like
painting, no, not that. The easiest thing to clean is paints that you clean with solvents, because solvents are they just chemically they're so harsh, they're so hot as people use the term, that they just completely obliterate the paint in a matter of seconds. It just you don't have to wash it with soap and rinse it. You just run it through the solvent or dip it in the solvent and it's all gone.
Are you speaking about painting, like painting, like drawing painting, like painting on a canvas or
Yeah, you can paint.
acrylics are very easy to clean.
Yeah,
They are,
they're pretty easy to clean, but any solvent-based paint, thinners that can thin solvents are so harsh.
yeah, but then you use like you need to use other materials besides water to clean
Yes,
it,
you do.
which
Yeah.
is more, it's usually more complex
Yes,
than
it's more
just,
complex. It takes more of an effort, but also the way that the medium dissolves in the thinner is amazing. Like it never gets too watered down. The coverage is always perfect. You can go thinner or thicker, and it's just the same coverage. It's really amazing.
I would say the easiest is probably, for painting, is probably watercolor.
Watercolor?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that acrylics
Like
are easier than watercolor?
to like handle and clean? No, watercolor is the
Oh,
easiest.
easiest to clean, yeah, for sure. Because it's not.
Oh, I didn't mean easiest to
No,
draw with.
yeah.
Yeah,
To
watercolor
clean for
is
sure because it's not thick.
yeah.
There's no.
You
It's
don't
just.
have a lot of paint.
It's
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 just
basically like a very diluted color in water. So it's
yeah,
mostly water, and the viscosity is very low, and it doesn't build up on the brush.
yeah.
But
But
there's a trade-off for sure.
in terms of what's the easiest and like what's the term people use to describe it, that about materials that are forgiving maybe.
Forgiving, yeah, they say forgiving.
I think the most forgiving material is probably acrylic
Yeah, for
for
sure.
painting,
Yes.
because you can cover any mistakes
Oh
that
yeah,
you make.
yeah.
You
And,
can
and you
draw
can
an
also do
entire
it
new
immediately because it dries so quickly. You don't
yeah.
have to wait
You
for
can
hours.
draw an entire new drawing over a failed drawing if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. Which I guess the same is true for oils
Yeah, it's true for
if
oils
you
as
allow the
well.
layer to cure and you're not gooping the paint on the canvas or surface you're working on.
Yeah, but I think that oils require more experience because you need to know how to handle them with all the maintenance and cleaning.
Mhm.
But also you need to understand how they work in terms of the drying time and
Mhm.
what
Oh, we could do an
whenever you put.
entire episode just about like I've been using epoxy two-part putties or epoxy paste and putty. And I could do an entire episode just talking about the differences in materials that and the different uses and use cases there are for each. Oh, Seven says gouache is fun.
Yeah, gouache is fun. I
Gouache is
like
fun, and I
gouache.
really like the matte finish. It's a special
You
kind
know
of,
what's cool?
yeah,
Gouache, yeah, gouache is fun because
mhm,
it's also very forgiving.
pretty
So
much.
it's also pretty easy.
And it dries fast, and it's opaque.
Yeah.
It has a lot going for it.
It's also almost like acrylic, but and it looks better like on the page.
Hmm.
The problem is you can make corrections with gouache, but you can't really make like a complete drawing over another drawing because if it's too thick, it's gonna like crack
Well, it's the same
because it's not
for,
glue,
right. It, it,
it's
it doesn't
paint.
have a bonding agent in the same way that acrylic does, so
Yeah.
it's not as malleable or flexible on the
It's
paper.
not flexible
It's not
almost at
flexible.
all.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
brittle.
there's a hack for that.
Oh yeah,
There's a specific type of gouache. It's called gouache, but it's not
it's an
actually
acrylic
gouache.
gouache.
Yeah, it's called acrylic gouache,
Yeah.
but it's not gouache, it's acrylic.
It's
It's
basically a
just acrylic.
gouache that uses an acrylic type bonding medium,
It's not gouache, it's acrylic.
but it has
It's
a
a
matte
specific
finish.
it has a matte
Oh, I
finish.
love a matte finish. Matte finishes are the
That's the
best.
only difference. It has a matte finish,
Yeah.
but it's basically acrylic. It behaves a little bit like gouache, but it's very flexible, so you can use whatever thickness you want.
Hmm.
But I don't know, when I color, I prefer, if I use gouache, I prefer using it like watercolor because I prefer doing, I don't like doing like rendering, doing the stuff that is more boring for me over and over again. So I prefer, when I color, I prefer doing it pretty fast and like
Hmm.
it's more fun for me to like complete a section of the drawing just once and not going over it again and again. So watercolor, it's actually the best solution for that. But sometimes you do make mistakes and you do want something to be more, I don't know, lighter, and it's impossible in watercolors. And that's why gouache are like the best for that. Because you can use them as watercolor.
Didn't
As watercolors.
didn't the painter slash matte painter slash designer Sid Mead used to use gouache primarily, if I'm not mistaken? What was
Probably.
Sid Mead's
So Alex Ross, for example, uses gouache
preferred
for his paintings.
paint?
Yeah, gouache
Yeah,
is
he used to use gouache.
Alex Ross in comic books. In the comic industry is the most famous for the use of gouache. But I think Frazetta and like
Didn't Frazetta paint in oils?
Frazetta did everything actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he also did a lot of sketching
And
and
inks,
yeah,
inking.
it's true.
I actually prefer his inking pages better than the paintings. I really like his inking, but I'm not necessarily in love with his paintings, even though I can see the brilliance behind it,
Yeah.
of course.
I
But
feel
something
similar.
about the style,
Yeah.
the style gives me a specific era, and it's hard for me to disconnect from it.
I feel similarly towards H.R. Giger's work. Um, Geiger or however it's pronounced. I'm pretty sure
It's Giger.
it's Giger, yeah. Because
It's
his
German, right?
it's I think he was Swiss.
Yeah, but the language that he spoke is German.
Yeah, probably. And he was very technical and he did innovate as far as the way that he produced the techniques and the ways that he produced his work weren't as common in fine art back then as they are now. And yeah, his shapes and volumes and compositions were really good, but the art itself was oftentimes very disturbing. So I would say that I admired his technique more than his subject matter many times. Not all the time, because like the design pieces for Alien are really cool and I like them.
Yeah.
But he just has some really violent work that I guess is less well known. I don't know what I said, less well known. That is just too disturbing as subject matter, and yeah. Jamie says, "Do you know when the Metal Hurlant magazine is out?"
They say, I think October, but they didn't give me a specific date for that. And so a lot of people asked for the originals.
Right.
I know that some people asked my art rep for that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna sell them. So
But it'll be after
they're
it's
gonna be
published, right?
yeah, but it's gonna be after the publication. And we are probably going to do something like a live auction or something like that with the Comic Art Fans, the YouTube channel. I will probably be there.
Yeah, and we'll let you know before it happens. This is the part in which we unfortunately stop and take a look at the work that's been done today and sort of turn the light table off and go over the ink itself.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you know, every good thing comes to an end, but there will be a next time.
And there will be tomorrow.
And
I'll finish this.
There probably will be a tomorrow. So anyone who wants to keep on watching work on this specific page, or pages rather, you can watch that tomorrow midday, and it'll just not be a moderated Q&A type live stream. It will be live, but there will be music that is generated by Nir's gestures, which he pre-programmed, and yeah, we'll take a look at the work that Oh, nice. So you have quite a bit of the character work done
Yeah,
today.
I've done all the characters on this page
Right.
here.
Except for the black portions, which you do later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also spilled some water here
Oh, is that what that
accidentally.
is? Okay. How would you fix that, by the way?
Whiteout,
Really?
probably.
That's a big area for whiteout.
Yeah, but it has some details here. Like
Oh, I see.
it will be hidden with the details on the wall.
Yeah.
And this is just me putting my hand accidentally here.
So you added a
That's-
detail that wasn't in the original
And you
design?
can see it. Now you can see
Wasn't
it.
in your sketch?
Yeah. So, and here I almost finished all the line work of the action sequence here.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have some more characters here on this corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a parkour inspired sequence. I actually looked online for parkour moves and I found a cool move that they do when they like jump on the wall like this, and they do a spin.
A hand plant and a spin, yeah. They
Yeah,
put their
spin,
hand
and
on
then
the...
I just saw a video and I stopped at like
Certain frames, yeah.
every few frames to see
Mm-hmm.
the movement. So I have this character here and all the bottom panels here.
That are left still.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to be working on this tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and this is, so it's a page that has more details.
Mm-hmm.
It's a double, and it has a lot of panels and a lot of actions. So usually it takes more time than other pages.
Yeah.
But I think I will be able to finish it tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I think so. Usually these kind of pages take me about around like
2 days work,
3
2 or 3
days.
days work, yeah, depending on the complexity with the environment backdrop.
Including the sketch is probably 3 days,
Mhm.
3.5.
Yeah, definitely, Jamie, send us pictures of your commission when you get it framed. We'd love to see it. And thank you everyone for joining us today.
Let's switch to the goodbye camera.
Yeah,
Which is
hello
over
and
here.
goodbye, Cam. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week as well. Happy Monday, everyone.
Bye.